Hey, this is the antisocial socialite back at it again. Shout out to all you wonderful new subscribers and returning friends. Welcome. If you are new to the channel, you have not yet subscribed. What are you waiting for, darling? Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. So when it gets running this mouth, baby, you are in the loop. You see the title, you know what time it is. But first and foremost, we have to shout out all the pick-me's because it is Pick Me Monday. To all the people who've been sharing, liking, disliking, leaving comments in the comment section. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause. So you see the title. We're going to run through this quickly. I'm going to give you my thoughts. Another video that has appeared on social media, and we need to talk about, once again, protect Black boys and the issue with the over-sexualization of our Black youth. So this is something that I came across on Twitter, and the reaction kind of makes you laugh, but it is, of course, a bit sad. So let's play this. So you guys get the gist right here. So there's a number of things that obviously we can talk about here. The first thing is, why are you as an adult person twerking on a minor? Because you can see that this boy, he's quite young. Why would you have adults twerking on kids? I recently did a video called Ain't No Fun When the Baby's Got the Gun, and it was looking at how there was a woman, she was twerking on, maybe she's about to start dancing on a live stream of some type, maybe Twitter or Instagram. And she didn't even realize that the child, the little infant behind her, had picked up a weapon that somebody had carelessly left lying around on the couch. And so, in that video, it wasn't just about that situation with the baby and the gun. It was also to do with just a whole compilation in recent time of women being reckless and over-sexualizing their kids by dancing to not just provocative music, but, in a provocative way with the children. I don't understand why people need to twerk with children, what they get out of twerking on the child to that degree. I mean, dancing with little kids, I can remember being young and, having like little nieces, nephews, and the kids of my friends and things like that. We were messing around. I understand that, but it's going to a whole new level now where you have, very explicit lyrics with very provocative dancing. These children are being over-sexualized. They're being exposed to content that is completely inappropriate for their age. And the thing about it here is this guy, he's not so small that he can't understand what's going on. You can imagine the kind of music that she's dancing to. It's embarrassing. It's on the internet. I don't understand why you feel the need to film this. This is not something that you really need to be filming. Shout out to Diego in the building. Shout out to Dimitri, always supporting the channel. George, appreciate you for coming through. Sir Obadiah, greetings to everybody on this fine Pick Me Monday. And so it's like, one thing you will notice about this video clip is it's being cheered on by men and women. Okay, a lot of the time the narrative is, Black men over-sexualize us, we don't get respect, we don't get protection, and blah blah blah. And it's like, it's very hard to protect somebody who's engaging in this type of behavior. The other thing you notice is you have a woman standing behind. Maybe this is his own mother, and she's actually like throwing dollars on a woman jiggling her behind in some little frilly booty shorts. You can see the multicolored weave. You can see that there's somebody else at the back to the left. That's a handbag. I mean, once upon a time that meant it was a woman. Nowadays we don't know. But you have adult men and women filming this, cheering this on. They think it's funny. And it's sad that you have a corruption of Black youth. And when you over sexualize children at a young age, or you expose them to certain things at a very young age, they are more likely to go and try these things out. This is how young people get set up for failure, because in their mind they think being a real man is doing something like this. And imagine if this young man goes to school and he starts doing this to girls, or demanding that that girls provide this kind of entertainment for him. They're already training him to be a trick. They're training him to be into strippers and hood rats. I mean, I shouldn't really be surprised, because even the mum behind, you can see a little bit of her hair is like a light pink or a blonde or something. I'm not judging people who wear weaves, but you can see from the way that they dress and carry themselves that they think this culture is perfectly acceptable. Now, for an adult person who wants to do whatever they want with whoever they want, you could argue that it is. But you're indoctrinating a young man into something that he's clearly not ready for. When young people are exposed to whatever it is, they're more likely to want to try it out. So when we're talking about progress, when we're talking about building better Black men, you're not going to be able to do that if you're training them to be addicted to sex, because sex is a gateway to a lot of other issues. This young man might start being sexually active at a very young age. He could contract a disease. We literally just started talking about, a white man giving multiple Black women HIV. He could end up as a baby daddy at a very young age. And that's not to say that his whole life would be completely derailed, but it definitely would be a setback, because his ability to be socially, economically mobile and move and pursue his career, his education, a lot of that is going to be hindered if he were to end up having a child. We know in the Black community that a lot of Black men, they're raised to believe their masculinity is tied to their sexuality. Like, instead of it being women bringing their body or their looks, or I don't know how you want to say it, like your feminine charm, and to a degree that is connected to your sexuality, to a relationship. Black men are the ones trained to believe that you're a man when you can get a lot of women. And if he's a young boy, maybe 10 or so, 11, he's already starting to develop into a man. And you know what I mean when I say that. Certain things that happen as a boy is transitioning into puberty, he's going to start having certain feelings. So why would you awaken something in a young man that he can't control? Okay. And this concept of Black women being objectified, we're going to talk a little bit about it later with the whole Tariq Nasheed upload of another restaurant where you have Black women dancing on chairs, dancing on tables, and just having complete disregard for the people around them. It's like you cannot talk about respect or protection, and at the same time we have a culture that's not condemning this. Now, I'm not going to say people didn't condemn this, because in the comment section people were going absolutely crazy, and that's really good. It's a good sign that a lot of people were not impressed. Let's see if we can see a few of these. So these people were like, this is disgusting. The person who actually retweeted this, they turned around and said, well, this is pedophilia. And it is. A lot of the times we don't like to talk about older women preying on younger men. And so it's something that if it was, and we just had this conversation with Goldie Jones accusing certain YouTubers of promoting pedophilia in the Black YouTube space, as it were. And a man who's a legal adult but older getting with a female who's also a legal adult is accused of pedophilia. But in a lot of instances, the same kinds of women who would accuse an older man of getting with a legal female will not call this out. They will not mention the fact that you have women who are, I mean, I watched a video and it was heartbreaking, of a girl getting beaten up by another girl. And it turns out that the girl that was getting beaten was 18. She had sex with the girl who was doing the beating's younger brother, who was 13, and she gave him herpes. Now, she's lucky. The girl who beat her let her live. Had it been my brother, I'd have been in jail, because I literally would have killed you at that point. Like, first and foremostly, why are you touching my 13-year-old brother? And you're 18. You couldn't find an 18-year-old. Why are you turning my younger brother out? And then on top of it, you come with a package. And your name is not Santa Claus. What is this? So we have to be realistic. A lot of these well, sometimes it's older, because look at Brittany Renner. She's legal, the boy's legal. But why are you, as an older woman, preying on these young, immature, vulnerable, impressionable males? Why can't you get a man who is, or a male your own age? And it's funny how a lot of the women who will call a man who is older a predator do not call this kind of behavior out. So the caption at the top said, he got a whiff of this and of something, and it ain't it. So again, it's like, I don't even want to guess what the whiff was, but maybe you haven't had a wash. Maybe it's that time of the month. You might have had some type of accident. Why are you throwing it back on people when you should be throwing your back in the bath? Like, I don't understand. Like, why do you think everybody wants what you've got? So people here, that's why you see some people laughing, probably because of the caption. But it is sad. This person has got the crying emojis. Some people, they're just lying because they're laughing because of the caption, I get. But that child was disgusted. He was gagging, literally. This is so weird for a grown woman to do this to a child. And the thing about it is this is not that rare. It's less rare than we would like to admit. Okay? So, some people have got some crazy gifts going on. The obvious child. How old is this dude? I mean, it's obvious that he's young. Like, I wouldn't even say 12. 12 at best. You're supporting pedophiles now. Folks been doing that. It's a non-stop thing. I'm glad this person acknowledged that this is something that we see a lot. If you go through that video, I mean, there's no time to go through all of the clips on social media of grown women twerking on babies, twerking on infants, twerking in front of the kids, playing explicit music. This one's ridiculous. So some people are laughing, but I think it says, but the homophobic people want to complain about Lil Nas X. And yeah, there is a double standard, but there's, or should I say, there's no standard. If a person of the LGBTQ community says or does certain things, everybody's outraged. But this is just as degrading. This is just as out of control. Everyone who's laughing at a woman twerking on a child, that's good. No, there's no pointing out of the wrong problem on Twitter. So yeah, sometimes it depends what it is. I want child services called immediately. And it's sad to say, but to a degree, yeah, because what else could that child be being exposed to? I haven't even been through these comments. Oh no, I've got to log in. So that's all I really wanted to say. We've been here before. We've had this conversation a multitude of times. If you haven't checked out that video of, women twerking on kids compilation and children being raised to call their mommy the B word, swearing, cussing, twerking, please check that video out. But this is something more and more people have to speak out against. And once again, let's see if the ladies who have a lot to say about the Black community and the Black males and why they're so-called dusty, why they're degenerates, why allegedly they're forcing motherhood onto people. This is another narrative. Well, if you over-sexualize young boys, and if you raise them in a household where they're not seeing women acting respectfully, you can't be surprised that they are not operating with respect. You're literally teaching your son to go to the strip club and trick off on women shaking their behind. If this is what he's doing, and you can see he's not fazed, he's not really shocked or intimidated or even embarrassed, which suggests this is maybe not the first time he's witnessed stuff like this. You can see he's grabbing the ladies behind and he finds it funny, but it's not going to be funny once he starts becoming an adult and he starts to think this behavior is normal. And if there's no men around to teach him that this, I mean, how could you teach him to respect women if you have other women telling him this behavior is okay? So this is the kind of behavior from adults that leads to the kind of men a lot of Black women are complaining about. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. This is just a super quick one. I came across this yesterday or the day before. Diego says down there is smelling interesting. And yeah, I mean, we don't know what was going on in there, but there's pheromones, there's hormones. When you as a female, naturally, as human beings, we give off scent that's not noticeable with the nose. So when you are twerking on this young man and the odor is coming on him, it's going to stir up certain feelings. It's just totally inappropriate. But again, you know, in the last live stream, Leek mentioned it. Shout out to her. You know, it's unfortunate that in the Black community, childhood is not seen as something precious. A lot of the times, children are not seen as people. They're not seen as vulnerable or innocent, and their innocence in need of protecting. And so behavior like this to them is like he's a little man. He's literally a man, but just a bit smaller. So whatever you do around him is not a big deal. We also have a problem with this culture of don't do what I do as I say. So if I tell you don't do this, you should do it. You shouldn't do it, even though I've let you be exposed to it. I've let you watch certain things. I'm not going to beat down on video games, but there's a reason why certain games, certain videos, they have a rating. And these parents are not protecting the innocence of their kids in what they allow their children to consume. And what makes this worse is you're actively bringing this into their life. If you want to twerk, if you want to have a good time and throw it back, there's a time and a place for everything. And if this is like a children's party, this is not it. The other aspect of this is when he goes to school and he's around not just girls, other boys, he's going to be introducing them potentially to porn. He's going to be encouraging them to go to strip clubs. This is where, you know, I don't know if I can say homeschool, because I know the homeschooling was a lot for a lot of people, but controlling the way you raise your kids from a very early age is going to become even more crucial, because this young man would have impacted the people in his immediate circle, his friends, and maybe whoever was present at the time. But because of the internet, the gift that keeps on giving, his face is now out here. Whether he's embarrassed or proud of this situation, his peers are going to see this. He's going to have to face them when he goes to school. And then it's going to put him on a cycle of either trying to defend this or keep this behavior up. It's creating a person who is going to become a risk to themselves and other people around them. And so I can't tell people homeschool. It is a good option, but it's a tough option. Being consistently there, it's probably going to require two parents in the home, so one can earn while one stays home to teach. And as a result of one spoiled apple, because he was a good apple and he maybe still is, but because of what his family has exposed him to and trained him to think is acceptable behavior, now he is going to go and influence other children to engage in degenerate behavior and ask other people's daughters to engage in this behavior. And so it's really sad. I wouldn't like to say call Child Protective Services, but this person has made a serious mistake. And it's not something that is a one-time event. This is something that we've seen on a number of occasions. So I really appreciate everybody for coming through. I just wanted to highlight that we've been here before and my stance hasn't changed. If you haven't checked out the other videos, please check them out. Like, subscribe, share this video with somebody who needs to see it. George said the over-sexualization, worship of other groups of men, hatred of Black men, and divestment talk is going to end up getting women really hurt. Exactly. If you're not going to call this kind of stuff out, what's the point to have a platform? because this is the kind of stuff you also need to talk about, the inappropriateness. Now, we all know the video of the lady twerking in the bathroom with the 4 boys. Some of the content creators, I know Tonya TKO did address this, but this is something that you need to keep hammering, because this is a cultural mindset. And even for the women who don't agree with this and say this is inappropriate, they weren't speaking out. But more and more people are saying, keep your adult business amongst the adults. It's definitely messing with the boy's mind. And this is a form of sexual abuse. We saw the actress, she's got the picture with the boy, he's got his hand between her legs. You know, there's a lot of Afrocentricity and black love, and everything's got to be done naked. And if you were in an indigenous population, the jungle, certain parts of Africa, being naked is not the same as being naked in a society where we're used to wearing clothes. Okay, in that society, that's traditional dress. If it's just a grassy skirt and you've got some beads, that's your culture. You're not looked at as naked because that's how you operate. If you live in a culture where it's normal to be dressed, once you start exposing yourself and engaging in certain behaviors with young boys or children, that's not only a form of sexual abuse, it's predatory, and it's pedophilic. So I really appreciate everybody who came through. Hit one of the hands, share the video with somebody who needs to see it, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.